Some people earlier were asking what happened to Kat. Bottom line is she's, basically bummed out that so many people were trolling. And it sucks because I knew that was going to happen. As I've told you guys, previously, Kat has nothing to do with myself or my content or any of the negativity associated with me. And she thought, oh, this would be something nice to do to dress up for Halloween and come by the stream and hang out with everyone. And the excessive amount of trolling that was going on basically got to her. And she says, I want to go do other stuff. I've been here for 2 games and I'm not in a good mood anymore. And I want to go do other stuff. So she did basically. She went on, she's actually not even home right now. She wanted to leave because she was in such a bad mood. And it sucks. Because I would, honestly, if the trolling wasn't so bad and if things weren't so nasty, she probably would be in my stuff a lot more often. But that's the reason why she really hasn't been in anything, because the trolling got so nasty. Stuff about stupid shit, about her looks, about her past, stuff that has nothing to do with anything going on. And, it pisses me off because this is something special that we were building up and talking about for weeks and weeks, and she was really excited for it, and she went and got a costume for it and everything. And here she is she was going to start doing commentary. The first thing she sees when she looks at stream chat is trolling and nasty shit about her. And it totally turned her off, and basically after 2 games, she was like, I just don't want to be there anymore. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to make you. If you really are upset, it sucks.
So I've been wondering why DSP ultimately brought his wife back on stream. I saw some of Tevin's video, and he started off with that same clip. And I thought to myself, why the fuck would she ever want to come back on stream? I mean, they both know what's going to happen. They can make all the excuses they want. It's going to happen. She's going to get trolled, made fun of, and eventually she's going to run off stream. Well, maybe not run, but they're going to go on break. DSP's going to come back by himself, and it's just going to be a replay of what happened the first time. He's going to blame us that her feelings are hurt, that she's crying in the other room, and how we're sick, disgusting, vile people. Sure thing, Phil. But it still doesn't answer the question of why. Now, there's theories out there. I know that picture came out a while back. I think it was ALT or Steve of the Dead or somebody put a picture out. But it was real blurry and it was hard to see. Now, maybe that picture coming out was enough for both of them to say, you know what? They've already seen you. You might as well come back out on stream. I highly doubt it, but it's a theory. It could be possible. Now, probably what concerned them more was whoever took the picture. Obviously, they know where she works at, and it would only be a matter of time till more pictures or even video came out. And I don't condone stalking her at work. It shouldn't have happened, but it's too late now. It's reality. It's already happened. But is that the reason she came back on stream? I don't think so. It's plausible, and I could be talked into that theory, but ultimately, I don't think that's why. Now, what about Mike Klum? Obviously, they saw each other in person. I know some people were saying that he might have had footage already, and maybe before he released the documentary, DSP wanted to beat him to the punch. If everybody was going to see her anyways, he might as well make some money off of it and get her on camera first. Interesting theory, but I don't think that's the reason either. Maybe Klum got some footage of their dinner or the first encounter. It sounds like aliens meeting up, the first encounter. But when I heard Klum speak to, I think it was Gundam and a few other people, it didn't sound like he would do that. It just seemed like DSP got excited at first, maybe let him on a little bit, and then did what he always does. Make up some fucking excuse and then pussies out. So I don't think that's the reason either. It could be, but I don't think it was. Now, let's get to my theory and what I think is going on. And again, it's just what I think. I don't have any inside information or any shit like that. Now, about 6 months ago, I was keeping track of DSP's tips, and eventually, I just got tired of doing it. But while I was keeping track, I noticed that his income was going down significantly. His YouTube payments seemed to be holding steady, but his tips plummeted. I remember talking to the homie JG, and we were going over the numbers, and DSP hadn't had months like this in years. I remember one month, his tips were like $2,000 lower than what he usually averages, and this happened for like 2 months in a row. Now, I think he's bounced back somewhat since then. His tips aren't what they used to be, but he seems to be hitting the $100 goal more often than not. So, clue number 1 for me was his income going down. Clue number 2 happened during the whole Mike Klum documentary thing, and specifically, the clue was, why did DSP pull out? Pause.
All things considered, everything going on, all right, as of today, the documentary is canceled. All right? And I'm going to tell you why. because there's a few major factors involved in this decision. All right. And it was not an easy decision to make because I've been working on this for months with Mike. And we've been going back and forth about stuff. And it was a tough one. All right. But allow me to explain what's actually going on. All right. So, number one, to do a documentary like this is going to be incredibly time consuming. I'm talking weeks of work, likely away from being here and streaming with you guys, or really broken schedules and messed up stuff, right? So, for example, entire days of filming that I'm not streaming at all, a day where my schedule's way off and I'm doing kind of a half stream and then I'm running around. We're talking days I probably wouldn't even see my wife because I'd be so busy, right? And again, not just filming here, but also filming, I'm having to travel and go around to do this filming and stuff like that. So just that, number one, that's a big endeavor. And by the way, that's not the reason why I'm coming to this decision, but it's a factor in it, okay? But basically, there's so many other factors going on. Some of these you guys know and some of you don't. Like, for example, I've got personal stuff going on behind the scenes in my life that none of you have any idea about, all right? You just don't, because I don't share a lot of my personal stuff with you guys. As you know, over the last year, there's been a few days where I've told you guys things are going on. I'm not in the right mindset, or I'm not feeling well because of stuff, and that stuff's ongoing. So already, I'm kind of already at a limit of kind of stress in my life right now with that stuff going on. And that really sucks.
So the first thing he mentions after saying the documentary is canceled is that he'd have to miss weeks of work, his schedule would be all fucked up, and basically, he wouldn't be there to stream every day. Now, he tries to pass it off as he wouldn't be able to see his wife, and it would make things hectic on his day-to-day life, and blah, blah, blah. Now, we all know what it means when he says he might have to take time away from his streams. It means he ain't gonna be making any money. And as you all know, he lives paycheck to paycheck, allegedly. But then he goes on to the next reason, and it's that he's dealing with behind-the-scenes stuff that he can't really tell you about. He even says, over the last year, there's been days where I told you things have been going on, and I'm not in the right mindset, and I haven't been feeling well because of stuff, and that stuff's ongoing. So I'm already at a limit with stress in my life right now. And that made me think to myself, that sounds awfully familiar. Where have I heard that kind of talk before?
For the last week or two at least. And it seemed like a lot of people were now positive about me and my stuff, right? And they were like, wow, Phil was right all along with a lot of the stuff that he was saying or it accused people of doing. They were actually doing it. And, a lot of people are checking out my streams who maybe never have before because now they believe me and stuff like that. So all this being said, all this good stuff is going on, folks. Today, sadly, I got, pretty much news that's devastating if something happens. Let me put it that way. And just so everyone else, this is not a threat to my YouTube channels. This is not a threat to my Twitch. It's nothing like that at all. I'm not getting sued, nothing like that. But it's something that I can't fully tell you about. And that's what kills me the most right now, is because there's something negatively affecting me really deeply, and I can't tell you about it. I could dance around the subject, but I can't give you details. It's just something that's happened, and it's like, are you kidding me? Like, on top of all the other shit that I've been through over the years, now this too. It's like every possible fucking negative thing that could possibly happen, it has happened to me. It's like, what in the Bible, now, by the way, I'm not a super religious person or anything like that, and I think a lot of people who watch my videos know that, but I grew up Roman Catholic. There's a story, was it Job or Jonah? Who was it? I think it was the story of Jonah, who he had a life, his whole life was screwed up, and then he got eaten by a whale or something, and it was just like, Lord, how could you do so many negative things to me? What did I ever ask, or how did I ever ask for this? And I guess the answer that he got back was basically, it's a test or something, and, I don't know, I don't really remember the story, but I feel like that person who's now been like, every possible fucking thing thrown against me, right, over the years, that could negatively be against me to the point where it's like, I don't know, I can't even fathom things, that could happen to me that are like not the negative thing. You know what I mean? What's the next big negative thing? I can't even think of one anymore.
Now, I only included that second part just so we could laugh at it. I still don't know how he got those two mixed up and how he compared himself to that. But I've already talked about that in another video, so I'm not going to get into it. But like I said last time, don't ever compare yourself to anybody in the Bible, Phil. Ever. And while he's not being as dramatic right now, I have a feeling something like this is coming soon. It's why I believe he canceled the documentary with Mike Klum. It's why I believe he brought his wife back on stream. It's why I believe he has all these channels now that he's trying to resurrect. Hell, he's even mentioning politics recently. And that's one of the things he doesn't allow people to talk about on his streams. So something happened behind the scenes financially where he even said it himself. He's not in the right mindset. He hasn't been feeling well. And he's reached his limit already with stress. Whether it's IRS related, maybe he was able to get some kind of shady ass loans after the bankruptcy and now he has to pay them back. Maybe his income really has taken a hit and Kat feels like she's not going to be safe at work somewhere, so she's just staying home. I don't know. It could be any number of things. And again, this is just my theory, but you know how I am with these things and putting puzzle pieces together. This is what I do. But something spooked him recently where he's desperate enough to trot her back out there on stream, despite what you heard at the beginning of this video and what we all know is going to happen. But maybe he thinks that she's going to save the business or that his dent heads really do want to see her. I don't know what goes through his mind. I just know I recognize a pattern when I see it and something is going on. Let me know what y'all think. Am I on to something here? Do you think I'm way off base? Do y'all have a different theory? I read every comment. I heart every single one of them to let you know that I read it. And I reply to as many as I can, so let me know what you think. I will talk to y'all in a couple of days. Thank you for always sticking with me. Let's fucking go, man.
Game Chugger just did another $10. I'm compelled to tip you again for another epic moment. Also, we get to see Jingle All the Way animation again. Yes. Arnold Filzenegger, right? How do you say Brunelzenegger, right? Very nice. All right, let us continue. What? Schwarzenegger, stupid, but people are dumb. What did he say? I said a take on Schwarzenegger. You know, his last fucking name, you stupid idiots. That's not a bad word, so shut the fuck up, you idiots. I didn't say the word you're insinuating I said, dumbass. Now fuck off. Okay. Morons. Let's continue.